Hey, Amandre. I cover University of Washington for the Seattle Times. I'm just wondering about your journey where, obviously you started there, you're from Washington, you came to Montana State and have really thrived. But when you left UW, what let you know that it was time to leave and what drew you to Montana State originally?
Yeah, I mean, it was a collection of a couple different things, really. And I just knew that my time at Washington was kind of coming to an end. And I understood that. And I kind of saw that coming for a little while. And what really brought me to Montana State was just, I mean, familiarity and continuity, really, in between the programs and cultures. And coming here, it was, it was a pretty seamless transition. We did a lot of the same stuff, and it's been a lot of fun since. And I haven't looked back. I haven't regretted anything.
And I'm sure that that was a little bit of a leap of faith, being a Washington kid going to Montana. What do
Mhm.
you think it is about this place, this program, coaching staff, or whatever it is that has allowed you to thrive as a person and a player the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, they let players play and they kind of let them learn through mistakes. And I mean, sometimes you need that. You need guys to get out there and they're going to fail, and that's all right. And these coaches do a good job of letting that happen and kind of just guiding them through that process. And the culture established here is a winning culture, and everything we do, I mean, everything we do is culture excellence, and we thrive to, or we strive to be the best in everything we do, and that's kind of what's allowed players to become the players that they are.
And having gone through some ups and downs and transferred and this and that, and now getting to where you're at, what is it like to what's the feeling like to close your college career in a championship leading a team like this?
It's hard to explain. It's just, I mean, it's been a long, long, long journey, and I wouldn't have wanted to end any other way. I love this team, and this team loves each other, and you can't ask for more as a player.
Thanks, Madre.
Thank you.
Colton, go for it.
Hey, Amandre. Thanks for the time as always. Just curious what you see from North Dakota State's offense, specifically their offensive line. Just what stands out to you about them?
Not much has changed. I mean, NDSU is NDSU. They want to run power. They want to run the football downhill. Big physical line, and that's kind of their identity. And they don't plan on changing that anytime soon, I don't think.
And specifically, number 44 had quite a game for himself against James Madison. Just what stands out to you about him?
He's a good player. Runs hard, blocks hard. Like I said, the whole NDSU team, man, they play hard. They're a physical football team. They know what they want to do and how they're going to do it, and he's no exception.
And lastly, for me, I asked Lance about this, but your senior class has been through so much. You guys kind of a few guys from different places. How much do you expect to keep in contact, I guess, after this game is over and your careers are over?
Yeah, forever. I mean, lifelong friends, lifelong relationships. These guys I'm see around for the rest of my life, whether that's, I mean, anywhere near this place or in a different state. I mean, we'll always keep in touch. We'll always have a relationship. So it's a good team. It's a tight team, and I don't think that's going to change.
All right, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Coulter Nuanez, go for it.
Hi, Andre. Just three things for me. One, I'm assuming that you're not obviously thinking about this right now, but I'm assuming you're going to want to play football as long as you possibly can after this weekend. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm going to try to play as long as I can.
And congratulations on the invite you got to the All-Star game. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
The other two things for me, though, what's the most meaningful thing you learned during your time at Montana State?
The most meaningful thing I've learned so much being here. Probably the biggest thing I've learned is that, I mean, football isn't everything. And it sounds kind of weird to say, especially when you're on a winning team, that there is life outside of football, and you have priorities in your family life, and your social life, and your school. You have these other things that you need to worry about, and you kind of need to put those on top. And once you take care of those, I mean, the football kind of comes along with it.
And last one, probably then, what will we remember the most? I mean, what's been your favorite part about this experience? What will you take with you just as the lessons that you learned down the road here after Montana State, your time is over?
Yeah, I mean, the relationships I built with these guys, like I said, will last forever. That's my biggest thing I'm going to take away from this program is just the guys that I played with, the relationships I built here with the staff, with the players, with all the support staff around us. That stuff that's never going to fade, and that's one thing that I'll always carry with me.
Alex, you're up.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, Amandre. What's the energy surrounding the team going into this last week, and knowing that you guys are one of the final 4 college football teams practicing for a championship right now?
Excited. A whole lot of excitement. Everybody's ready to get back on the field. It's been a little bit. We were kind of in the mode of playing every weekend, and we had a few weeks off, but everybody's excited to get back on the field.
Any last minute adjustments or different things you guys are doing within practice prior to going to Texas?
No, I mean, Montana State Bobcats are Montana State Bobcats. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're obviously going to game plan for North Dakota State, game plan every week. That doesn't change. So we're just going to do what we do, and they're going to do what they do. So it's going to be a good game.
Captain's going to have the cowboy hats on going to Texas for one final travel trip?
Oh, absolutely. You'll see them.
Parker Cotton, go ahead.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Amandre. Maybe just one thing for me, and hopefully it doesn't step on the toes of too much of what Alex just asked. But I'm curious if it's obvious at all that Brent Vigen has prepared a team, in this week before. Obviously, having done it so many times at North Dakota State, even if there's some messaging or that's different, or any elements of practice that have slightly changed. I know you still want to stick to who you are, but is it obvious that he's prepared a team in this kind of week before?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that this whole staff has been in big football games before. That's no surprise for us. Not, like I said, not much has changed. I mean, you kind of, as a coach, you don't really need to stress how important this game is or how excited you need to be. I mean, it's a national championship. We understand that. We understand our players. We understand how precise we need to be, how detailed we need to be in our preparation, and the coaches do a good job of kind of just, I mean, containing us and keeping us focused on the goal. But, I mean, no, not much has changed. And, yes, you could tell that these coaches have been here before. It's nothing new to them.
Okay, excellent. And I lied. Just one other quick thing. Obviously, it's a busy week. It's a pressure-packed week. Have you or your teammates find yourselves, have you allowed yourselves the time to kind of sit back and kind of soak it all in terms of, last college game, kind of the opportunity that's ahead of you? How much are you trying to soak it all in before you actually get there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been stressing it since we got into the playoffs this year, is that, I mean, any week could be our last. So just take a second, take a look around, just embrace it all and just understand that it's all going to come to an end at some point for everybody. And that could be this week, and just be grateful for where you're at.
All right. Thank you, Amandre.
Thank you.
Victor, what do you got?
I'll let Robbie go first. I think his hand's been up before mine. If you want to do that, Robbie.
Oh, Victor, you're too polite, man. I'll go. I got one question. But Amandre, y'all have had one of the best defenses in the country this year. How much of an impact did Coach Banks have on getting y'all to where you're at this season?
Yeah, I mean, huge impact. He calls the games for us. So, I mean, whatever he's doing is doing it right. And he's prepared us well. The whole staff has prepared us well. And we had great talent in here. It was just a matter of just putting that talent in the right spots. And we were able to do that with the help of the coaches, obviously. And they put a good game plan out every week.
Is there anything that kind of stands out that makes him different from most defensive coordinators you've worked with in the past?
It's when you get to high-level programs, the coordinators are always very detailed. Coach Banks is no exception to that. He's very high energy. He's very detailed. He cares a lot about the players, not just as players, but as people. And just overall, he's a good coach to have around, and we're glad he's here and that he's been here for us.
What's it been like riding with him into the postseason now?
Oh, it's been great. It's been a fun ride. Every week it seems like it turns up a little bit, but no, it's been a lot of fun, and we're excited to go out one more time on Saturday.
All right. Thanks, Amandre.
Thank you.
Hey, Amandre. What do you remember most from that 2019 semifinal game? What stood out the most from NDSU back then that you kind of take into this game? The thing that I most remember is walking off the field at the end of the game without a victory. That's what I remember. Specifically about them playing us, just a big physical team. Like I said, NDSU hasn't changed. They just want to run the ball. They want to be physical. They want to dominate everybody they play. And that, like I said, that's not going to be any exception this Saturday.
And just in the last 3 weeks, being kind of the first time you've had this stretch, what was most unique or just kind of stood out the most, I guess, from this lead up to the game?
I haven't had Christmas off in a long time. 2019 we did, obviously we lost before it, but having Christmas off and then coming back and practicing, I haven't done that in a long time. But preparation wise, nothing else has stood out. We got a little time away with our families. That was nice. Other than that, it's just back to work.
Thanks, Amandre.
Thank you.
Mike, do you have something else?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could just jump in one more time and ask Amandre, since you left UW and have had success at Montana State, do you still hear from UW people? What have those bonds been like since you've parted ways there?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, I still have close friends there. I still have friends that have gone to play on in the NFL. I still talk to, and I mean, we talk about some of the. I mean, they went through some of the similar stuff that we went through here with staff changes and stuff, and so I was just keeping up to date with them and just asking how they're doing. And yeah, I still talk to them. I still have relationships built with those guys.
Who are the guys there that you were closest with or are closest with?
Closest with, I mean, we had our own little group, kind of my class: Ryan Bowman, Taylor Rapp, Race Porter, Sean McGrew, Brandon Wellington, Isaiah Gilchrist. Those guys, those were probably my closest guys over at Washington.
All right, thanks, Amandre.
Thank you.
Ashley, finish us up.
Hey, Amandre, just one quick question. I know that you're a senior heading into this last game with your teammates. Have you kind of just sat and reflected on this last year? I mean, there was just so much change between that spring season being canceled, a new head coach, new quarterback. I mean, there was just so much change, but here you guys are a couple of days away from this championship game. I mean, I'm sure it might be a little overwhelming at times just reflecting on how crazy this year has been.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about it this last week. Just January feels so long ago. It feels like a couple of years ago, really. Yeah, this team has gone through a lot since then. And I mean, it just shows the resiliency of this team and how they're able to come together and kind of get through some tough times. And like I said, it's been a long year, but it's been a fun year, and we wouldn't change any of it. It's obviously brought us to where we are today. So we're thankful for that.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you.